welcome to Out and About. I'm Diane Gonzalez. Lincoln will host the largest and most exciting air show in Nebraska this year when the Guardians of Freedom Air Show returns to the capital city May 7th and 8th. The Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, the Nebraska National Guard, and the Lincoln Airport Authority are sponsoring this free family event. And here to tell us about the details is Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Hess with the Nebraska Air National Guard. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I want to start by talking about your role in the show. You're kind of the military head of the air show.
Yes. Yeah, Diane, as you mentioned, there's three big components to this. It's the Lincoln Airport Authority, the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, and then the Nebraska National Guard. And I work for the Nebraska National Guard, obviously, and I'm the air show director. So myself and Lieutenant Colonel John Williams, air show director, assistant air show director, and then we have the air side, which coordinates all the air events, the flying, and the static displays of aircraft. And then we have the ground side that does all the displays and the vendors, etc. So basically from us, it tiers down into a pyramid, and we have the air and the ground, and then from there we have additional people helping set up, coordinate, and execute this air show.
It's a big venture, and the show has some of the best air show performers in America. Of course, one of the main attractions is the Blue Angels.
Yes.
Tell us about the Blue Angels.
Well, the Blue Angels, you know, each service has a premier air show demonstration team. In the Navy, it's the Blue Angels. The Air Force has the Air Force Thunderbirds. So we apply for each, and we're lucky enough to get one of them to come to the air show, and that's the Navy Blue Angels in 2016.
Now, they've existed since 1946, so they've been around for 70 years.
That is correct.
Wow. Tell us what are some of their famous things they do during their performance.
Well, they do a joint show where they have 4 aircraft flying together, and then they have a solo demonstration. So it's kind of 2 parts. So you have, at one point you'll be watching the 4 diamond formation flying, and then out of nowhere comes 2 aircraft kind of coming at each other, opposing solos, crossing, where they do it in a way that for us it looks very, very close.
Yeah,
very exciting.
Kind of scary.
Yep.
What are some of the other highlights? Maybe some things that people haven't maybe seen at previous air shows.
Yes, Diane. The big main one on the Air Force side is we're going to have the F-22 demonstration, which is the premier Air Force 5th generation aircraft, and we're going to get that demo here. And it is a fantastic demonstration. It's highly capable, and it's a real neat crowd pleaser. So.
In addition, there's a lot of stuff on the ground as well.
Yep.
Lots of fun things for kids to do.
We do. There's a kid zone, a kids play area, and that's it. Essentially, think of a lot of bounce houses, but with an aircraft theme. So they might have an aircraft on top or whatnot. Face painting, anything you can think of the kids would want to do in their spare time after watching some of the aircraft and walking through some of them.
Now, I imagine one of the favorite things for a lot of folks is the vintage airplanes. There'll be some in the air and some on the ground, right?
That's true. We have a P-40. These are all World War II aircraft, a P-40, a P-51, P-38, and a B-25 bomber. The first 3 I mentioned are all fighters, and then we have the B-25 bomber. And what is really neat, there's a foundation called the Heritage Foundation, and they've done a lot of coordination, and what we'll have the F-22, the newest aircraft with the Air Force, flying in formation with the P-38. They call it a heritage flight. So at some point during the air show, you'll see a P-38 World War II aircraft in formation with the F-22.
Now, we do want to mention that folks can check out the website lincolnairshow.com. It's got all the performers. There'll be a schedule, a list of events, everything that you need to know.
Yep.
Also, you can check out what this I'm going to call it a thing because I'm not real sure what it is. Dream Big Cockpit. Tell me about that. That looks really interesting.
Yep. Well, there is it's a cockpit, like you said, of an aircraft. It's an A-7 Corsair from the Vietnam era, and it is the actual cockpit. It's not the wings, etc., but it's the cockpit and the fuselage, and they bring it out, and you can get into it. You can strap in. You can play with the controls. You can take pictures taken in it. It's a really, really neat up close and personal look at an aircraft, military aircraft.
Now, the last time the air show was in Lincoln was 2011. Were you involved then?
I was. As I talked about, the air director and ground director, I was one of the air directors in 2011.
Well, that show attracted almost 300,000 people. Are you expecting the same kind of crowds for this show?
We are. We're anticipating somewhere in the 1 to 125 per day. So 250 over the 2 days to 300, and a lot of it depends on the weather.
Right,
as well.
right. Now, if it does rain, it's kind of rain or shine unless it gets stormy.
Correct. So raining, as long as it's not severe weather or heavy rain, we'll work through that. As far as severe weather, there's a plan to address that and monitor, and then different phases where we'll up to and including suspending the show and then canceling it. But we've got great public service announcers. We have an app that will be out there. If you go to the website, you'll see that, and we'll be in constant communication with all the folks out there if something happens with the weather.
Now, with that many people, hundreds of thousands of people, I know you have to take a lot of precautions to make sure everybody stays safe. What are some of the, without divulging too much, what are the things that you do to make sure everything is safe and secure?
Yep, as you said, there's probably two sides of it. There's the behind the scenes, and then there's the overt. So behind the scenes, there's all the planning on the local, regional, national level, and then there's the overt, which of course we'll have security at each gate. We'll be going through, making sure that people go through scanners, that we look through bags, et cetera, so that any prohibitive items cannot be brought in.
Now, we also, again, at LincolnAirShow.com, you can find out some advice if you're attending the air show. Things like lawn chairs, yes.
Yes.
Food and coolers, no.
Correct.
So there is an FAQ section that addresses some of those basic questions people will have.
There is.
The cameras are permitted.
Of course.
And you're doing everything you can to make this as fun as possible.
We are. And I would like to say, as far as water bottles, et cetera, you can bring water bottles, just have them empty, and we'll have a refill station.
Oh, that's great. And vendors out there for
There
food
are
and
vendors,
drink.
food, drink. So
Everything you need. What's your advice for someone who's going to attend the show?
my advice is to come early and plan to stay all day and see some great aircraft, civilian and military, and see some great ground displays.
Sunscreen?
Yes.
And be patient with parking.
Yes.
There is also parking information at LincolnAirShow.com as well. Now, this event is also bringing to attention the work of the Nebraska National Guard. And tell me about your service in the Guard.
Well, I started in 1996, and my father was in the Air Guard through the 70s, and it's a family out there, literally and figuratively. And I wanted to fly. I've always wanted to fly, and I was lucky enough to be selected to be a pilot out there, and that's where I've worked since 2000. So.
Now, you fly the big refueling
Yes,
tankers?
the KC-135R refueler.
And is that kind of your dream job?
It is. Any flying is my dream job. So.
Well, good for you. And how long do you plan to stick with it?
As long as they'll let me. That is.
Well, I guess it kind of depends on how well the air show goes, right?
Yes.
I'm quite confident with all the planning it's going to go great. For someone who's never been to an air show, what would you say, what to expect and what to watch for?
If you haven't been, I would just expect a lot of things to take your attention. I mean, we'll have things on the ground, Army vehicles, Air Force vehicles, Air Force aircraft, as well as the Kids Zone. There's the Dream Big. There's some other areas. There's some recruiting. And all the while you're doing that, there's going to be some acts either on the ground out in front, like a jet truck with flames coming out of everywhere. There's going to be explosions, and then there'll be military and civilian aircraft. So that's what to expect, just a lot of high energy, lots of neat things going on.
What's your favorite thing about an air show?
The flying. So for this one, it'd probably be there's some really neat civilian acts, and then the military acts. They both have their great things about them. And this year, I did want to mention we're bringing in 2 glider teams or glider acts. So the Air Force Academy is going to have a glider there, and they're going to do an act. And then we have a gentleman by the name of Manfred Radius. He's been doing it for 30 to 40 years, and that's something we've never done. And we're really excited to have this at the air show.
Well, you can check out the complete schedule of events again at LincolnAirShow.com. Again, the Guardians of Freedom Air Show is 9:30 to 5 each day, May 7th and 8th, out at the Lincoln Air Park. There's plenty of parking out there. Make sure you check out the frequently asked questions section of the website, LincolnAirShow.com. It'll tell you what to bring and what not to bring, and what you can do, and how to keep yourself safe and have a great time out there. And if you'd like more information, also the number to call, 402-436-2350. Well, Lieutenant Colonel Hess, thank you so much for being here, and good luck. We are hoping for beautiful weather for the air show this year.
Well, thank you for having me, and we hope to see you out there.
All right, thank you very much. And when we come back, Jeff Mull will join us from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Stay with us.
This city isn't what outsiders think. Lincoln has always had the reputation of being a sleepy Midwest city, but not the type of place people think about living, especially young people. We've just never really been the place people dream about. That's about to change. It's time to change perceptions. Exciting things are happening in our city, big things. Our spirit has a renewed sense of energy, and there's enthusiasm in our collective voice. You can feel it in the streets, see it on the skyline, hear it in the ideas of our young entrepreneurs and creative class. This might be a quiet, laid-back city, but it's buzzing with a flourishing economy and a rich, vibrant culture. Be young, have a booming career, raise a family. You can do it all here, and it just keeps getting better. We're the crossroads of blue skies and bustling progress, the sweet spot of balanced living. It feels good to be here, to be a part of it. In Lincoln, life is right. Now, it's time to let the world know.
Welcome back to Out and About, and Jeff Mull joins us now from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's a big spring in Lincoln, and I always think the red-white spring game kind of kicks off the season.
Yeah, and I think if we take a look at our history of this show, we have talked about the spring game a lot this time of year. And this is a great opportunity for those that typically don't get Husker football tickets to get out and enjoy some Husker football. Great opportunity to go over to Memorial Stadium, enjoy the red-white game. A lot of new recruits coming in. We've got a pretty good team, it looks like, for this coming season. So stop on over to Memorial Stadium.
And beat the traffic with the Big Red Express. We'll be running that day as well. So you get if you haven't tried that, it's pretty slick.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot.
All right. That same weekend is the UNL Rodeo. So you could take in some rodeo action Friday night, and then the spring game on Saturday. And
that's right.
A lot of fun.
Rodeo action kicks off at night. They'll have Kids Day at noon on that Saturday, April 15th and 16th at the Lancaster Event Center.
Okay, then coming up the next weekend at the Event Center is the big Spring Affair plant sale. They have 500 different varieties of plants.
You name it, they have it, right? Plants, plant talks, concessions, garden vendors, everything under one roof. So much of what we do out at the Lancaster Event Center is all under one roof. It keeps you out of the elements, but this is a great way to get a kickstart on your spring planting.
There's a kind of plant I've never heard of, a temperennial. I'm going to have to look that up. Some kind of perennial.
Something to, yeah, temperennial, which
temperennial.
means its temperament must be of the perennial nature. Anyway,
let's
look it up and get back to you.
If you haven't had your fill of flowers, the Lincoln Iris Society has a show coming up at Meadow Lane Elementary.
Thanks to the folks at Meadow Lane Elementary for hosting this. Your chance to get any variety of an iris during this show.
Irises are one of my favorite, and I had no idea we had an Iris Society.
Yes, we do. Very strong Iris Society in Lincoln.
I learn something every time we do this.
I like it.
April 23rd is a big day in Lincoln. We are officially going to open the N Street Cycle Track, and all those events are going to take place in the morning at Elliott Elementary.
That's right. Things will kick off the Lincoln High Band at 10:30. Mayor Chris Beitler will get a chance to welcome the group and talk a lot about the energy that we have for the biking community. And then folks will get a chance to hop on their bikes, enjoy the cycle track all the way down to the rail yard. Mm-hmm. Who knew that all connects to the rail yard? This is your chance to go ride the circle track for the first time.
And then when you're done at the rail yard, you get back on the cycle track, go east to Union Plaza, and it's Earth Day.
Earth Day. I was going to draw a map here. Earth Day is a great opportunity to stop over to Union Plaza, enjoy NET's PBS Kids. Curious George will be there.
Who doesn't want to meet Curious George?
One of my family-friendly favorites as a kid growing up. 70 booths, green vehicles, and the first farmers market of the season will be featured at Union Plaza.
And speaking of farmers markets, we'll have the complete list on next month's show. So if you know of a farmers market, let me know so I can make sure I get the whole list on.
I like it.
Children's Museum has a lot of events. Actually, Earth Day and Mother's Day are going to be kind of themes throughout the show, but the Children's Museum is going to celebrate Earth Day the night before.
Come early and celebrate Earth Day at the Lincoln Children's Zoo. This is sponsored by the Lower Platte South Natural Resources District. Of course, the Children's Zoo opened early this year, so things are well underway over there.
There's a special Mother's Day celebration also coming up at the zoo. Bring your mom, and the mom gets to ride on the train for free.
That is a deal right there. Great opportunity to get over to the zoo.
That is great. Runza's Jammin' at the Zoo is coming up. This is going to feature music, animals, books, and of course, Arg, Mike Menard, our favorite pirate.
And she didn't mean Arg,
I meant
Mike Menard.
Arg.
She
I meant
meant
Arg.
the guy that is our favorite pirate in Lincoln, Mike Menard, will be there. And he'll stick around and sing some songs and talk a lot about local heroes. This will be at the Children's Zoo, sponsored by Runza, and thanks to those folks for helping out.
It's been nice to see the Children's Zoo get that national recognition lately.
Very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice to see Lincoln on the big screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
More and more.
I know, a lot.
More and more.
Yes.
Another great big attraction for kids in Lincoln is the Children's Museum, and of course it takes a lot of money to run a place like that. The Taste of Spring is a benefit for the Children's Museum, and they have really raised a lot of money over the years.
Yeah, over $250,000 have been raised for this from this event. This will be held at the Country Club of Lincoln. Great chance to have a sit-down dinner, a cocktail hour, everything going back to the Children's Museum.
Yes, help keep that great place going and growing. Some fun times out at Pioneers Park Nature Center. We're going to have a wild adventure day.
Everything's a wild adventure day at Pioneers Park Nature Center. There is so much to do out there. Great things for all ages, special presentations, booths, crafts, games. You know, stop out and enjoy the entire Pioneers Park facility as a whole while you're out there. Bring a picnic lunch and just enjoy a great day out there.
Another Mother's Day event is coming up at the Pioneers Park Nature Center, and this is going to be an early morning bird walk, and then you get brunch afterwards.
Birds and brunch.
Sounds lovely.
Birds and brunch. Great chance to go out there and enjoy some sun-up activities and hear the birds first thing.
And this is International Migratory Bird Month.
Yes.
And we're going to find out more about that at Morrill Hall with the Investigate Second Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. Great chance to enjoy a variety of bird nests and feathers, learn about local prairie birds and habitats, make your own feathered friend to take home. And hey, if you're not feeding the birds right now, this is a great time of year to start feeding birds. Dave Tedderington over at the Wild Bird Habitat Store does so many great things for our community, and kids love it. So if you're looking for some fun spring activities, don't forget to feed the birds.
Bird watching is a great hobby.
Yes, it's fun.
Also at Morrill Hall, coming up, well, actually, this a month before the bird thing is the Sunday with a Scientist. This one's going to focus on astronomy, and it's going to have a special planetarium show.
Yes, great chance to interact with astronomers, engineers, and physicists to learn about solar observing, telescopes, and 3D printing, as well as nanotechnology. We have a very, very large solar eclipse that's going to happen next year,
That's right.
2017. So stay tuned for more information on that and get a sneak peek at some of the solar activities going on right now.
Take a step back in time at the Lancaster Event Center. This sounds like fun. Jurassic Quest. This is the animatronic dinosaurs. Have we ever had those here before?
No, not that I'm aware of. I know Omaha's hosted a similar event at the CenturyLink Center, and I've always said I wished we'd do something in Lincoln, and the folks at the Lancaster Event Center will do that. Over 50 life-size dinosaurs in all. They're going to have realistic scenes, enormous dinosaurs, and yes, baby dinosaurs. Go to Jurassic Quest, their website, and they have a great video of kids petting baby dinosaurs.
Oh.
It's amazing to see. You'll really love this, so stop out there. They also have a huge T-Rex and Triceratops, probably two of the most popular dinosaurs for kids as they're growing up.
That sounds. This says you can even ride a few of them.
I'll be okay with the baby petting. I'm good with that.
They're not real, Jeff.
Oh. Did you just ruin it for people out there, Diane? Come on. Stop out to Jurassic Quest.
Use your imagination.
Exactly.
The National Association of Wheat Weavers Trade Show. This is another thing I did not know happened. I know about wheat weaving, but I did not know there was a National Association of Wheat Weavers.
Yeah, stop out to the Holiday Inn downtown. Great chance to make it and take it table, and they will teach you how to make a small item out of wheat straw.
Those
The
are beautiful.
wheat weavers will help
I
you with
love wheat weaving.
Really?
Yes, I do.
And activities will take place on Friday as well as Saturday afternoon. Couple great days at the Holiday Inn.
And as we know, there is a festival for just about everything, so it only makes sense that we would have Bacon Fest.
Can you imagine what you're going to see? I mean, you're going to see everything made out of bacon.
These are some of Lincoln's finest chefs. I'm sure they'll get really creative.
That's right. Proceeds will provide scholarships for culinary students in Nebraska. Music by the Lightning Bugs.
And the music itself is worth showing up
Oh, yeah,
for.
definitely.
The Lightning Bugs and bacon, pretty good.
Wow.
Now, if you can't wait till the Wilbur Chuck Festival, you don't have to. The 47th Annual Chuck Festival is coming to the Playmore on May Day.
A lot of great foods, demonstrations, vendors, jamming and polka dancing, a lot of great things going on. And yes, there will be a crowning of Lincoln's new Czech-Slovak queen.
Excellent.
sounds
Now,
exciting.
does she go on to compete then in Wilbur, or how does that work?
I don't know. Is there a national Czech Slovak Queen
There probably
competition
is. There probably is.
coming to a Lifetime network near you?
Could be.
Should be a lot of fun. Stop on out and get a teaser for Czech excitement and activities this summer.
Now, one of our great local painters, Stephen Dinsmore, has an exhibit at the Lux. This is free, and he produces paintings that provide pleasure and create emotional exaltation. He really does beautiful work.
Yeah, and he synthesizes these images from several sources. So you talk about a lot of the great things that he takes pictures of. He'll bring it all back and convey it in a very inward way of communication. And it should be a lot of fun. Lux Center for the Arts up on North 48th.
All right. The Great Plains Art Museum is having a panel and also an art show. We're going to talk about the panel discussion first. We've got ecologists, photographers, and poets who are going to come together to discuss grassland conservation in the Great Plains.
Yeah, and I think that's a very, very important topic these days as we're developing so many communities, and grasslands are still very much a part of the heartland and the Great Plains. So great chance to hear a panel discussion. They will roll into the Great Plains Ecotourism Coalition See the Great Plains series, which will kind of give you an idea what they're going to be doing in the month to come.
And that is a free event, and also the art exhibit there is a free event as well. We the Heartland is photographs by Kate Schneider. She's a Toronto-based photographer and educator, and she is portraying the proposed Keystone XL pipeline route in Nebraska and South Dakota. So kind of an interesting, somewhat controversial topic for her exhibit.
Yeah, and there will be examples of letters that have been written to President Obama as well as the Lakota Nation and the Lakota Natives that are defending why or why not we need to do these things. So it's a very topical presentation. Great chance to see her work as a Toronto-based photographer.
And we need to mention this is being presented with the support of the Nebraska Arts Council and the Nebraska Cultural Endowment. So lots of going on at the Great Plains Art Museum. We've got some opera going on at Nebraska Wesleyan, and this one's a little different. They're going to do it in Italian.
That's right, and Giacomo Puccini's La Rondine will be over at the Nebraska Wesleyan O'Donnell Auditorium. This marks the first time the Wesleyan opera students have done this in an Italian language, and English subtitles will be projected in the auditorium for those of you that aren't quite fluent on that tongue, understanding what they're singing about and presenting.
For the vast majority of us will be able to see the English subtitles. So that's something a little different at Wesleyan. Of course, they've been marking the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death, and they have an interesting pairing of shows. Taming of the Shrew and the more current play it's based on, Kiss Me Kate.
And they'll run those on alternative days, or alternate days is my understanding. Should be a great chance to see two great Shakespearean classics.
Yes. And Man of La Mancha is coming to Tada, and it has a special guest star.
And who is our special guest star? I mean,
UNL Director of Opera William Shomo stars.
This is a big deal.
The great role is Don Quixote.
Yeah. It should be a breathtaking production of this, one of musical theater's timeless classics, or timeless tales.
And encourages us to dream that impossible dream.
I like it.
Cinderella, another Dream the Impossible Dream, is coming to the Haymarket Theater. A classic story.
And will Cinderella find her prince? That's the question.
I'm guessing she will.
You think so?
That's what I put my money on.
Great classic, great fairy tale. It's something that sounds like to me a very family-friendly event.
The Playhouse is bringing a musical version of Catch Me If You Can, and if this sounds familiar, it is the story. There was a movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio. It's an amazing, true story.
Yes. Frank Abagnale Jr. is a swindler by all means, and he poses as a pilot, he poses as a doctor and a lawyer, all in an opportunity to go after his dreams. And what's neat about this is when the FBI gets onto him. So if you've seen the movie, this is a great chance to see it come to the live stage here at the Lincoln Community Playhouse.
Was that Tom Hanks?
Yes, Tom Hanks was the FBI agent, yes.
But this is a musical comedy.
This will be fun.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. Another Earth Day event, and we were talking about the Children's Zoo earlier and its partnership with Joel Sartori. This is an Arts for the Soul concert series, which is going to celebrate Earth Day and Joel Sartori's photographs at the same time. It sounds really cool.
Well, and if you know enough about Joel Sartori, if you don't, look him up. His actions and his photography take you from the Arctic to the Amazon, and he's been right in the face of grizzly bears and a lot of amazing animals. So this is a great opportunity to see that happen at First Presbyterian Church.
He's doing such important work about protecting endangered species. So yes, this will be kind of a unique event at First Presbyterian. Also, it's springtime, getting close to summer. That means all the concert series are starting up.
Right.
And this one has been around for a long time. It's the Noon Wednesdays, Foundation Garden.
Yes.
You could sit there, have your lunch, and enjoy some local music.
You see a lot of people during their lunch hour in downtown Lincoln converge on this space. And Pangea will kick things off on May 4th, and May 11th will be the Black Eyed Susan Band. So a lot of great entertainment in downtown Lincoln.
Now check out the full schedule at artsincorporated.org, because that goes on every Wednesday when it's warm.
Yeah, when it's warm.
When it's
and
warm.
dry, I think, is a key element there, too.
Now, Auburn Music is going to present the Wartburg Choir, and this sounds like some sort of international group, doesn't it, Jeff?
It is, and they're internationally acclaimed, and they have a great tradition and distinction. As they played the Globe, which is really neat, and to have them in Lincoln at the Kimball Recital Hall. And there'll be a premiere of a newly commissioned work by Auburn Music's own Tom Traney.
But they are not from a foreign country. They are from Iowa.
They are. Isn't that amazing?
The pride of Waverly, Iowa.
Waverly, Iowa.
Who knew?
I didn't know.
Check it out.
I will.
Lincoln Community Concert Band has its final concert of the season coming up. We want to remind people all their concerts are free and open to the public. So, and of course, the band is open to adults of all experience levels. The choral artists, this sounds like a Mother's Day event. Songs my mother taught me.
Yeah, this will be St. Mark's. They're on St. Mark's on their campus, and they'll feature over 60 singers from Lincoln and surrounding communities, all singing songs about the mother, or the songs that mother had taught you as you were growing up.
Now, the Capital Jazz Society continues its new Friday after work tradition. They've got Friday Live at 5 jazz series at Vega, and they've got an interesting lineup at Kearney High School, the Lincoln Jazz Ensemble, the fabulous Annette Murrell, and the Lincoln Southeast High Jazz Group, all at Vegas. Be a fun Friday after work event to go hear some jazz.
Vega and the Rail Yard easily moving itself up as far as a large traditional impact when it comes to music in Lincoln.
And we've got 2 local musical organizations, 2 outstanding organizations that are going to be playing with some big stars at the Lead Center. The first is our own Nebraska Jazz Orchestra and Doc Severinsen.
This is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Doc was something that you knew from The Tonight Show. He created the theme and so much more. He's going to get together with the Nebraska Jazz Orchestra at the Lead Center. An amazing season going on at the Lead Center, and this is just one great example of their productions.
Then the Lincoln Symphony Orchestra is going to be performing with a Grammy-nominated superstar of the mandolin. And I'll let you tackle his name, or hers.
Avi Avital?
Sounds right.
Does that sound okay? This will be at the Lead Center, and this is a great, great production. They're going to move through a lot of different things with the Lincoln Symphony Orchestra, moving from Vivaldi's Four Seasons, along with a piece written by and for Avni Dorman, and then they'll end with Beethoven's Symphony No. 3.
Should be a good show. Well, there's, as usual, even more than that you'll find on the website, lincoln.org. Lincoln.org.
Lincoln,
yes.
you got it.
I
You got
wrote
it.
down Lincoln.com,
You did.
and I knew that was wrong.
And, I want to remind people to stop to our visitor center down at 7th and P. We're staffed down there 7 days a week, and give us a call at 434-5348. There's so much more to tell you about. Give us a call, and we'll give you some great things to do.
And that used to be kind of on the edge of the Haymarket. Now it's in the middle.
It is. It is. What a great bustling community we have.
Thank you very much,
You bet.
Jeff. Tom Lebrenz will be here right after the break, but first be sure to check out these other great shows coming up at the Lead.
This city isn't what outsiders think. Lincoln has always had the reputation of being a sleepy Midwest city, but not the type of place people think about living, especially young people. We've just never really been the place people dream about. That's about to change. It's time to change perceptions. Exciting things are happening in our city, big things. Our spirit has a renewed sense of energy, and there's enthusiasm in our collective voice. You can feel it in the streets, see it on the skyline, hear it in the ideas of our young entrepreneurs and creative class. This might be a quiet, laid-back city, but it's buzzing with a flourishing economy and a rich, vibrant culture. Be young, have a booming career, raise a family. You can do it all here, and it just keeps getting better. We're the crossroads of blue skies and bustling progress. the sweet spot of balanced living. It feels good to be here, to be a part of it. In Lincoln, life is right. Now, it's time to let the world know.
Welcome back to Out and About, and Tom Lorenz joins us now. We're going to start off by talking about Pinewood Bowl. More shows added. At this point, we've got 11.
Yeah, we're up to 11. That's pretty great. We've never done that many shows out there before, and this is a really, really good lineup. Things really came together this year.
Yes. Starting with Paul Simon, I am really looking forward to this one.
Paul Simon is just, what a talent, and someone who is a great songwriter, great performer, just so many things that to look forward to for that show. And it's he doesn't tour a lot, so this is really nice to have him coming into Lincoln. I'm really excited about that evening.
Now, since you were last year, we've announced Bob Dylan and his band are coming June 22nd.
That's right, Bob and his band, and also Mavis Staples will be with him. So it'll be a really, really good night. And Bob's, as he's gotten older, I think the sense is that he's performing the songs maybe even more like he wrote them. And so it'll be a really, really good night. He's always an interesting performer, something different to look forward to. And Mavis Staples, from what I was told, that a long time ago, Bob proposed to Mavis when they were younger.
Really?
And so there's a lot of cool connections there. It'll be a very, very nice evening.
Now, wasn't she scheduled to play at the Bourbon and then had to back out for a family emergency?
Right.
So
we do get her here in Lincoln, and
right.
We're just thrilled to have her as part of Bob's show.
Another Beatle, Ringo Starr, and his all-star band.
And Ringo is, the fact that he's just a Beatle should be enough. But, a great performer in his own right. He wrote a lot of good stuff. He'll be performing that. And this all-star band, this is not just any old all-star band. These guys are top-notch. Todd Rundgren. You've got Greg Raleigh, who was, with several different bands. You've got, there's just all these guys have got a pedigree that's just outstanding. And so to have those two shows, Bob Dylan and Ringo Starr almost back to back, just brings some of the best of that era to Lincoln.
Well, some people would say Paul Simon, Bob Dylan, Ringo Starr.
Let's stop there.
What more do you need? But it goes on.
It does. We had more dates, so we decided to do more stuff. So
21 Pilots is coming to kind of change things up for the
really cool duo.
Other generation.
They've been out there since about 2008. They're out of Ohio, and they put out about 4 or 5 albums now. I think Blurry Face was their last album, and they continue to be more and more popular. Our show out at Pinewood Bowl, which is sold out right now, it's at about 5,500, is probably one of the smaller ones on their tour right now. They are just becoming a really, really big act. So it was great. We worked on them a little bit last year, couldn't quite get it to come out. This year, once we put it up, it went and sold out. It'll be a very popular night. Great music.
Then we're back to the classics. Alabama coming up August 4th and Chicago August 9th.
Alabama is an act that I used to be at Hilton Coliseum in Ames years ago, and we did Alabama a couple times, and they always drew a sellout house and always had so many great songs. I mean, they are part of country classic and country royalty. So they'll be back in, and they'll do a really, really good show. And then Chicago, I grew up outside Chicago, and so I've been listening to them ever since I was a kid, and they continue. I read recently they've sold over 100 million albums. So
That's amazing.
Just an amazing amount of product out there. I think they're on Chicago 30-something because they always numbered their albums sequentially, and there are about 4 or 5 original guys from the band. They're still making great music every night, and that'll be a wonderful, wonderful evening out at the Bowl.
Now, the weirdest show of the summer is coming up August 10th. I'll be there. I'm a Weird Al fan. I will admit it.
For someone who's and Weird Al has been around for a long time.
Yes,
too.
he has.
We probably both listened to him on Dr. Demento's show years ago, and he did all of the the great parodies of all these great songs. And the guy is really a good musician. He doesn't. He's not over the top as far as being a diva or all the production. But this is going to be a cool show. I mean, I get more comments on Weird Al than a lot of the other ones. People are just excited, and those Weird Al fans are true diehard fans.
I used to think that the artists he parodied were upset about it, but they give him permission, and they consider it a compliment.
It is. If you haven't been done by Weird Al, and you're kind of waiting for that to happen. I imagine there's probably 1 or 2 artists in this whole list that maybe weren't as thrilled, but most of them, you're right. It's a huge compliment. He does such a great job at it.
A really fun summer night, August 11th, Beach Boys and the Temptations. What a duo. This sold out fast
This
as well.
sold out really fast. And, you know, when you think of summer music, you think of the Beach Boys in California and beach songs and everything else. And so that's what we're going to see out at Pinewood that night. And having the Temptations along, they have so many good songs. You know, the two together are a great touring group. It will be, you know, you know, was it Endless Summer, I think, is kind of the famous Beach Boys album, and it's part of our Endless Summer out at Pinewood Bowl. This will be so much fun.
Will they play together?
I don't know. I think they probably at some point come out, or at least, you know, a few of the guys come out and harmonize, and I would expect it, but I can't promise that. So.
Walk the Moon is coming up then the next night.
You know, Walk the Moon is a group. It's 4 guys, and they're also out of Ohio. So we have 2 kind of alternative rock bands out of Ohio this year. Multiple albums out. They continue to grow in popularity. You know, you'll hear more and more of those songs throughout the summer on some of the pop stations, and so this will be a really nice kind of a change in pace. You know, we've had a lot of classic rock, and it's great to have some new cutting edge stuff out there too. So Walk the Moon will be a very, very nice show.
For some reason, I've had a Bonnie Raitt song stuck in my head for about 2 days now, and I'm glad she's coming in September.
Bonnie is, you know, just when you embody what blues are, I mean, Bonnie plays the blues, and she is an excellent guitarist. She's been around for a long, long time. Famous father, so she's been involved in music ever since a child. She is, you know, the ultimate, you know, professional out there as far as, you know, singing the songs that really, you know, describe the blues, and it is going to be a terrific night to have Bonnie Raitt, and she's got some great warm-up act too, and I imagine they'll back her up also. So it is a terrific evening. It's in September. It's past the fair. It'll be a nice night to get out on a September evening, not on a football game night, and enjoy a terrific night with Bonnie Raitt.
And again, a perfect setting for that particular artist.
Yes.
And we're going to wrap up with Steve Martin and Martin Short. This ought to be a lot of fun.
You know, these 2 guys are, you know, are multi-talented. They've done so many different things. When you start to look at Steve Martin, all the things that he's done, he's written, he's a performer. You know, the great thing I get to announce is that his band will be with him.
Great.
So he'll be playing banjo, and the band will back him up. They're comedians, they are actors. You know, there's just no part of the arts that these 2 guys don't cover, and you can imagine it's going to get pretty silly when the 2 of them get, you know, start, you know, cutting off each other. So again, they're doing a very, very small run of shows. I think it's 8 or 10, and to have them come out to Pinnacle Bank or to Pinewood Bowl is just a real honor, and those tickets sold very well. There's a few left, but you're going to have to jump on those very, very quickly.
So that's 11 shows. Any more?
Very good possibility. There's going to be a couple more. We've got a couple things that we're already kind of half lined up, and we'll see what other great opportunities. We'll probably top off at somewhere around 13 or 14. So
Wonderful.
We're very close, but it's going to be a great, great summer. Thanks so much to you know, Jerry Shorney and Matt Middlestat and the guys at Pinewood Bowl. They're terrific to work with, and it'll just make a very, very fun summer.
Well, let's move on to Pinnacle Bank Arena. We've got Monster Jam coming up in the middle of April, along with the Party in the Pits. 8
great monster trucks, you know, out there to tear themselves up and go over jumps and race against each other, and you know, really they put on a great show. These guys are terrific showmen. You know, they know their vehicles top to bottom. They know how far to push it, and they always push it just a little bit further. That's why they end up upside down half the time. So it's a great evening, you know, a great afternoon on Saturday, and then 2 evening shows Friday night and Saturday night. Bring the kids down, bring the family down. It's actually it's kind of a cool date night. We saw a lot of couples come up, you know, and see this. It's just a fun evening, and it's priced right. So I hope a lot of people get an opportunity to come out and see this show.
There's a new spiritual event on the calendar with the David Jeremiah stand-up tour. Now, I'm not familiar with him, but he's having Casting Crowns with him, and I have heard of them.
Casting Crowns is a terrific band that's, you know, really on the top notches of Christian radio, or Christian bands. David Jeremiah is a popular speaker on the Bott Radio Network, which plays heavily here in the Midwest and in Lincoln. So it'll be a very, you know, entertaining and a very spiritual evening. Having Casting Crowns is just a really nice topper for the show, and you have to contact David Jeremiah and the websites and his websites to get a ticket. It is a free event, but you need to have a ticket before you get there.
All right. The UPC at the university is having its annual spring concert, and they've got a big name coming.
You know, we talk to UPC all the time, and they did Vance Joy last year, and now we have T-Pain coming this year. And it's kind of a, the reason to do it inside Pinnacle is that time of year you could have a pretty wet, rainy night outside. They used to do it outside in the quad, and so we can at least provide them the opportunity to have a great place to have it. The ticket prices for students is $6. The ticket price for the public is still a very reasonable $25. T-Pain has written a lot of songs, been involved with a lot of different artists, and so he's a great representation of that hip hop and rap kind of a genre. And it will be a terrific evening, and we hope a lot of students get to come out, and I hope the public comes and joins us there also.
Okay, and then the next night, there's going to be some brawling with Dynasty Combat Sports.
We love to do MMA over at Pinnacle Bank Arena. It sets up really nicely underneath the big video board. We're able to put the IMAG on there and have all the fights up on the board, along with getting great seating and great sight lines towards MMA. MMA continues to grow in popularity with all of the different, and you see it quite often. The fighters do change. There's been some surprises lately with some of the fighters, and so this is a great pipeline to that UFC type of a level for these fighters. Dynasty puts on a terrific show. It paces well. A lot of fights, and it's a great evening. And again, it's priced very well. So students, folks can come out, sit up in the stands, have a beverage, and enjoy a great evening of fights.
And probably won't be too many fights at Sesame Street Live, but maybe Bert and Ernie might get into it.
If Bert and Ernie get into it, and you never know what Grover's going to do, and then
look, they're hugging.
Oh, see, it's making new friends. So we're very excited about them coming back. It's a tradition here in Lincoln to have Sesame Street here year after year. All the years I've been here, we've done it, and they're still very relevant. And it's a great first show for your younger kids. It's so big and visual. The parents can enjoy the songs also, and it's just a lot of fun.
Brantley Gilbert is coming April 30th. That's going to be a pretty big show.
Ball cap, rock and roll country, and Brantley Gilbert's one of the best at it. The ticket sales are going quite well for this. It's been nice. It's a lot. There's all these kind of different genres of country. It used to be just country. Now you've got some of the newer stuff. You've got the old classic country and twangy stuff and different things. But this is a great show, and this will be a lot of energy. Hope people get to come down April 30th. It's a nice time of year. It's kind of before all of the summer activities kick in and all those Pinewood Bowl shows, so it's timed out nicely.
Another great family event, and this is the big circus. This is the Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey.
We've never been able to do the full Ringling Brothers circus here before. We did Hometown Circus once or twice, which was a cut down version, and this is the big touring Ringling Brothers circus, and so it'll be a huge spectacular to have really world-class acrobats and artists and animal acts and all kinds of wonderful things that'll be happening there. It's a great family event. It's a spectacular. It's something you need to see, and we hope that they start a rotation of coming back here probably every couple years. So it'll be really nice to have the big circus here.
Yeah, to get on their schedule.
That's right.
Celebrate Lincoln is coming June 10th and 11th, and you've got again some big names coming for that. That's at the out at the festival a lot.
Yeah, and it's we work this with Broadcast House, our friends over there, Amy and Brooke, and we've got Blue Oyster Cult on the Friday night, which is really they have a lot of great songs, and the price for this is really reasonable. It's $10, and so you can come over, have a great evening out. Second night we've got Tyler Farr. And Tyler Farr is another up and coming country singer. He'll be excited to come out and play. He had some throat issues for a while, and so he went off touring and rested his voice. He'll be back in full voice when he gets out to the Celebrate Lincoln Festival area, and a great evening to come out. You stand there. We set up the stage with the Lincoln Bridge in the background. You can see Memorial Stadium. It's a wonderful setting, and it'll be a really fun night out at the festival space. Lots of parking on both sides of the bridge. And it's a really reasonable price.
Justin Bieber, June 21st. That'll be a pretty big show for a lot of people.
That'll be a big show. And this first went up. We weren't sure exactly how it would sell, and it sold out. And so they're sold out. It's relatively sold out. There's a few tickets still available. He started out as an internet artist and has really built his base and following from there. he's received critically, well, and there's always going to be some sort of antic or something with the show and some lead up to it. So we look forward to that, and it's really an honor for us to be able to. We're working this with AEG Live, and they brought us some other great shows, and this is just one more great AEG Live produced show.
A different kind of circus with Torque, The First Flight. This is the Cirque du Soleil production that everyone's talking about.
If you've gone, or if your friends or have gone out to Las Vegas and seen some of the Cirque shows, they'll come back and talk about the tremendous production values. And Torque right now, based off the movie Avatar, is one of the most popular shows out on tour. This one is doing really, really well across the country, and so again, we're very honored to have them come to Lincoln, Nebraska, bring the show here. It'll be a huge production. It's set up kind of longitudinally along the Pinnacle Bank Arena, so it's not just an end stage. It kind of flows all the way out in the audience, and people are really all around it. You'll see highly talented acrobats and dancers and all the different parts of this, along with a great story that kind of follows along some of the Avatar storylines. So and there's multiple shows. Check out the website, pick that show that fits for your family, and come on out and see a wonderful production.
Now, RibFest is back, coming up the middle August out at the event, out at the festival lot. And how many years has this been going on?
Thank you for asking. This is the 20th year. Can
Wow.
you believe we've been doing this for 20 years? We've had great
That's
ribs in
amazing.
Lincoln, and people have supported this one. It's some people plan their vacations around it, and it's always been a fun thing. We do it now the weekend after school starts. For a while the way the calendar changed. Doing it that weekend when right before school, people were traveling, so now we pushed it back a little bit. We'll have some new vendors there this year. We'll have a couple new guys that are bringing in different styles of ribs. We have all the different flavorings and everything else. We'll have some great music too. We're going to try to focus a little bit on some red dirt artists this year, and we've got some other great opportunities. But it's really nice to be able to do this for 20 years, and it's we'll try to have a few surprises for folks, and I really thank you for supporting this. Now in the festival space with power and the way it's laid out, there's so much room. We try to have a nice big tent to keep people cool while they're out there during the day. And at night, especially around that red dirt stage, it will be packed, and so it'll be a fun evening.
And don't wear white.
Nope, and it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday this year. The one change we'll have from the past is that we will not be doing it on Sunday. Sunday we saw the attendance sort of drop off, and people were, I think, burned out from having a great time on Saturday night. So we'll do those 3 nights, and people will still have multiple opportunities to get great ribs.
They're probably pretty full.
I think so. You can only do it that 4th day in a row. Trying to get that last rack of ribs down is maybe pushing it a little bit.
The other spiritual event on the Pinnacle Bank Arena calendar is the Belong Tour.
Yeah, it's this is Women of Faith have kind of rebranded, and it's the Belong Tour. It's a nice blend of older and younger spiritual speakers. It's a great kind of a weekend out for women. It starts on Friday night. A lot of women stay overnight, and then Saturday morning they go back in. It goes till about 5. Very excited about that. It's August 27th and 28th. And it's a great weekend. We had about 11,000 people come last year, women come, and it draws from states all around. It's a great time for you to get together, great time of teaching, learning, and it's a very fulfilling weekend.
And the last 3 shows we're going to talk about are all big stars: Maroon 5, Keith Urban, Alan Jackson. I suppose all 3 of those are selling pretty well.
They're selling very well. Maroon 5, to have James Valentine back here, and those guys continue to put out great music. And the popularity of The Voice, and this is just one of those shows that we're trying to get for the last couple of years. We're really thrilled to have them come in, sold terrifically. When you look at Keith Urban, one of the best. We played the fair last year, had great response. It's very neat because Keith is going to do some summer shows, and he'll come back and take a month off and retool and come in and do the arena show. So we'll have a show designed just for the arena. And we saw him again on the Country Music Awards the other night, the CMAs, and he just continues to be one of the best guitarists. And he was playing banjo the other night during a song. Great songwriter, great singer, and really thrilled to have Keith Urban here. And the surprise for us was Alan Jackson. Alan Jackson, classic music, has been out there for years and years. And Alan's coming in, and this thing is just blowing up. We're selling up into the 3rd level already.
Wow.
And he just has, he's got so many great hits, just a consummate performer, and it's a great way to kind of, ease our way into the Christmas season already, at end of November, and we'll be ready for some surprises after that.
It'll be here before we know it.
It is.
We've got some other big announcements coming up, but you can't tell us anything today.
Unfortunately, as we're taping this, we'll have an announcement in 2 or 3 days, and I think it'll make a lot of the folks that have been waiting for that rock show to come up. It will be along those genres, but we'll be able to talk about that more next time around.
That's a pretty good hint, though.
Yeah, that helps. So at least we know it's not country, right? So.
There you go. There you go. Tom, thank you so much. I know you stay plenty busy out there, and it's a great lineup at both of the venues. So thank you so much for coming. PinewoodBowlTheater.com is the website, and PinnacleBankArena.com is where you go to check out the arena shows. So check them out and check out all the great acts we have coming up here in Lincoln.
Thanks, Diane. Thank you, Lincoln, for supporting all this stuff. We're having a blast.
All right. That is it for this month's Out and About show. I want to thank all the guests that we had today. Now, if you missed any of the events, stay tuned. We'll be running a list again right after this show. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you out and about.